With a lot of tourism, a lot of growth comes a lot of garbage, goes without saying. So we're actually in Salegaon in Goa, and this is India's first integrated solid waste management facility. Now what typically happens here is not just waste being collected or segregated in one particular fashion. This is just the start of the story, and we in fact, to talk about the start of the story, are standing on top of what's called a weigh bridge. That's where the amount of garbage that's incoming into this facility is weighed out. But why is this so very interesting? Tell us a little bit about this.
Well, it's a weighing scale. We're literally standing, both of us right now, on a weighing scale. And this is just the first step. Inside, what's going to happen is called cradle to grave. Essentially, the waste comes in and different processes take place. Ultimately, electricity and a number of other pieces take place. And we're going to break it all down for you. But this is a model of sustainable living. And this is why this story is so exciting. Come in with us.
Okay, we're in the Salegaon facility, and this is our first stop. Swachh Desai, an official who oversees day-to-day work here at this waste management facilities with us. Swachh, hi. Great to see the manner in which all of this has been streamlined so well. Tell us a little bit what we're seeing here. Heaps of garbage. So from the beginning, garbage being dumped on the floor here. What's happening next, Swachh?
Yeah, as we have seen, the waste which is brought by the local bodies in the vehicle is weighed by the weigh bridge. Then all the dry waste which is brought at the facility is unloaded at this tipping floor. This is the dry waste tipping floor. Then with the help of a loading machine, we load it into the processing line.
So that's the loading machine. After all of the dry waste is put here, that's the loading machine. You see the machine loading the garbage, and it's going to then put it in the processor,
Yes.
right?
So mostly the dry waste comes into the plastic bags. So we have a bag opener wherein all the waste which has been tied inside the bag gets loosened up. Then the loosened waste is further taken into the processing line. So we are having a wind shifter. Basically, it is a density separator. The lightweight, the medium and the heavy fractions get separated into three different fractions over here. Then the lightweight fractions.
And where exactly is the separation happening in this machine? Can we see it here?
So it is a integrated machine. All the dry waste has been influenced by the pressure air, and it gets separated with the help of the air into three basic fractions, that is light, medium and the heavy waste. The medium fraction has been taken into the manual sorting station, where we have the people who were earlier working as a rag pickers, because this site was earlier a dump site. All the rag pickers who were living on this dump site were given a job over here, an employment, and all those rag pickers are working over here to segregate the waste. So basically the dry waste, which comprises of plastic, different types of paper, PET bottles, Tetra packs, have been sorted over here. All those recycled fractions which have been recovered are sent to the recycling facility for further process.
Okay, so we'll talk about the further process. Let's also go and take a look at how this work is taking place manually. But this is what you see here at the facility. Fun fact here is this facility before 2016, when it first opened to this kind of work, was actually a dumping ground.
This was actually a dumping ground which was utilized by the surrounding local bodies for over 2 to 3 decades. Then in 2016-17, when this plant was set up, all the waste was brought over here and scientifically processed. Prior to that, from 2015 to 2016, all the waste which was dumped over here was cleared. The land was cleared, and then this beautiful facility came up.
Okay, so let's go and see how manually the waste is being segregated.
Yes.
Okay, Swachh, now we're headed to a very interesting phase in this entire process, how waste is treated here, segregated here, and that segregation continues at multiple levels. So we've already reached this conveyor belt where medium weighted
Segregated
waste is finally...
So this is the only section in the plant wherein there is manual intervention. Otherwise, all this machinery, the entire plant has been operated on PLC SCADA system, which is on automation mode. So this is the material sorting station wherein the people manually sort the plastics or the papers into almost 14 different fractions. So we can see that it is all air conditioned so that we provide a better working atmosphere for our workers. And most of these workers earlier, as this site used to be a dump site, they were actually a rag pickers. So then we employed them over here. We provided them good facilities. Now all these people
So
are
that's
working
the
on
community engagement.
Of course.
The rag pickers are still doing it in a more dignified way.
Yeah.
Can I just put it that way? Each of them has been entrusted with the responsibility of picking a certain type of waste. For instance, this man here is picking up
hard plastics.
hard plastic. Okay.
That lady over there, she is segregating PET bottles. The other one will be taking up the cardboards, the paper. So individual responsibilities have been assigned to individual person over here. We are having a drop zone. All these segregated material will be dropped over here. And
Each of these boxes are drop zones. So when the material is segregated, it's put in the respective zone, and that's where it's collected down below.
And at the end of the shift, everything will be taken up. It would be packed into the bundles and stored. Then further, it will be sent to the recycling facilities for further processing.
Okay, so all of those bundled stacks that we'd seen just down below were all segregated.
Yes.
It was defined where they're going to be finally going for recycling, right?
So it would be going to the recycling facilities.
Okay, Shashank is now going to take us to the wet garbage, how that's processed, that's treated. But before that, this is the important visual, right, that we want to talk about. How waste has been segregated. You see cardboard here, you see a lot of plastic there. All of that has been segregated in separate heaps. And this is very interesting. Tell us a little bit about what we see here, Shashank.
Yeah, as I mentioned, all this waste which has been segregated into cardboard, the light plastic, the raffia, it's been taken into the baling machine. So this is the baling machine wherein all this waste which is segregated is taken inside, and then we make it into bundles. So these bundles are stacked and kept over here. When one full load of truck happens, we load it and we send it to the processing facilities
The
for further
loading,
recycling.
your truck typically comes from here.
Yeah.
You get all of the material loaded, and that's when it's sent for recycling. Another interesting visual is what you see there. That's the control room. All of these machines are manually controlled. So the conveyor belts, the way they're moving, the speed at which they're moving, all of this is controlled from here, right?
So this plant is working on a PLC SCADA system. It is all automated. Apart from the manual sorting, each and every machinery is operated from the control room over here. So we have a dedicated team which manages all these operations from this control room.
So we're finally looking at the wet waste. Tell us a little bit about what we're looking at. The smell, the odor rather, is strong. But where is this coming from? This is wet waste that's been collected from all around the region in Goa.
So mostly over here we get waste from almost 30 local bodies. So the wet waste which is in a segregated manner is brought at the facility, and then this is the wet waste tipping bunkers. So you can see we are having 3 individual tipping bunkers over here. The vehicle which gets wet waste tip means unload the wet waste in these bunkers. So these bunkers are having a screw mechanism. So through these screw conveyors, the wet waste has been taken for the further processing, which is called as the organic extruder, wherein the fibers and the organic pulp get separated. The fibers are then taken into a composting system, and the organic pulp are taken into the anaerobic digesters. So then this organic matter gets decomposed, biogas is produced, then the biogas which is generated is further utilized to run a biogas genset, and electricity is produced.
So a different kind of fuel.
Yes. And this entire facility runs on the electricity which is generated in-house, and the excess electricity which is produced is fed into the grid, in the network, grid network.
Wow. Okay, so this is one would call a surplus system because electricity is being generated. Your facility is using some of it, but a lot of it is actually going out there.
Over here at this facility, we generate almost 28,000 units of electricity, out of which around 8 to 10,000 of electricity is fed to the grid on a daily basis. Apart from that, we are having a 500 kW solar power plant, through which we generate almost 1,500 to 1,800 units. That also has been utilized to operate this facility.
Okay, what are we looking at next?
So I'll show you all the gas engines where the electricity is produced, and also the solar drying shed where the compost which is produced. At this facility we generate organic compost around 6 tons per day. 6 tons is equivalent to 6,000 kgs, which has been given to our local farmers for their agricultural practices.
Oh wow, back into the earth.
Back into the earth.
So what are these huge structures that we're looking at right now?
See, as I mentioned, the organic pulp from the organic extruder is fed into these two digesters. These are anaerobic digesters. The organic
Anaerobic meaning like without oxygen?
without oxygen. And this organic pulp is made to retain over here in this structure for almost 20 days for further bioprocessing. And the biogas is produced in these digesters. This biogas which is generated is being collected into these dome structures, from wherein it has been taken to the biogas gensets and the electricity is generated.
So from here is where your electricity is happening?
Yes.
And also tell us, what's that little device? It looks a bit like a telescope almost.
Yeah, it's just an inspection chamber from wherein you can see what is happening
You
inside.
can stand outside, look through that and
Yes.
see. It just to, I would assume, safety.
Just kind of for an inspection purpose.
Ah, how interesting.
Yes. And all this biogas which is produced over here has been collected. It is a double membrane door system over here, and then the biogas is taken to the biogas gensets for electricity production.
After all of that, the entire story, we are finally, I think it's fair to say, at the final stage. What are we looking at? What are these black fields?
See, as I told you all this organic pulp has been taken into the digesters where we produce the biogas. The remnant digesters is taken into the solid liquid separator, wherein the liquid and the solids are separated. The liquid is taken into the wastewater treatment system and the solids are taken over here. You can see the solids which are dropping down. This is a solar drying shade. So at this end, the solids are dropped down, and then with the help of the conveying machine, the solids are dried over here and we receive a matured compost on the other end of the shade. So this process takes almost 10 to 15 days. At the end of the 15th day, we get a good enriched compost. This manure has been taken by the local farmers as a soil enricher. Again, it goes back to the earth.
Yeah, it goes back to the earth, and that's why it's perhaps called the most sustainable form of waste management. Now, you typically said that this is laid out like this to dry out for 15 days. Is it left like that just as is? What's the process that's followed here?
See, you might be seeing these machines. These are the conveying machines and tilling machines. This waste has to be turned on a daily basis in order to further mature. So it takes almost 10 to 15 days for the solids to mature, and at the end, after 15 days, we get a good nutrient manure.
So from the waste, how many farmers are you being able to impact with
So
this?
all these manure has been taken by the farmers from our surroundings, which caters to almost 30 villages.
So say we're talking about 200 tons of waste, 200 to 250 tons of waste that come into this facility, are processed. And then you're telling us villagers in 30 different farmers in 30 different villages see the positive impacts, and this is just this,
Yeah, this is
not
just
the
one
electricity.
impact. What's great about this facility is also it's fully run on electricity generated right
in-house.
at this facility. So that's another very fascinating aspect.
And the surplus energy is also been fed into the grid, which has been
So you're
used
not
in
just
thousands of
using-
households.
You're giving
Not
back.
just using the electricity generated, you're also giving it back. Lovely.
Wonderful to learn just how this works from you. Thank you for telling it to us.
Thank you.
Jai Mother.
Jai Bharat.
In his 11-year tenure, PM Modi has held 12 exclusive interactions with News 18.
आपका प्रधानमंत्री, आपका प्रधान सेवक या आपका नरेंद्र मोदी कहीं पर भी हो, कुछ भी हो, लेकिन आगे इंसान तो है। सबका साथ, सबका विकास। नेटवर्क 18 टीम को बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं। देश को आधुनिकता की तरफ भी ले जाना है। ये तो ट्रेलर है, मुझे तो और आगे जाना है।
अब धर्म के आधार पर देश के टुकड़े नहीं होने चाहिए।
मैं ध्यान करता हूं, इसे नहीं, मैं ध्यान को जीता हूं।
एक मेगा एक्सक्लूसिव इंटरव्यू
इंडिया अलायंस नजर नहीं आएगा, इसलिए मेरी पूरी तपस्या या मेरा फोकस देश बने इसके लिए है। जिसको किसी ने नहीं पूछा, उसको मोदी ने पूजा है। पूरे विश्व में भारत के इलेक्शन कमीशन का जय जयकार होता है और ये मोदी की गारंटी है।
Conversations with Modi, only on News 18. This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will turn 75 on Wednesday, which is 17th of September. The Bharatiya Janata Party has planned a series of programs across the country to mark the birthday of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. We have a ground report. Let's take a look.
हम नेक्स्ट जनरेशन जीएसटी रिफॉर्म्स लेकर के आ रहे हैं। ये दिवाली के अंदर आपके लिए तोहफा बन जाएंगे। सामान्य मानवी की जरूरतों के टैक्स भारी मात्रा में कम कर दिए जाएंगे। बहुत बड़ी सुविधा बढ़ेगी।
Promise made, promise delivered. Less than a month after Prime Minister's vow, Finance Minister announced GST 2.0 in a late-night press conference. It was Diwali much before Diwali.
We've reduced the slabs. There shall be only 2 slabs, and we are addressing also the issues of compensation cess. Reforms have been carried out with a focus on the common man. Every tax levied on common man's daily use items have gone through a rigorous looking into, and in most cases the rates have come down drastically.
The story began more than a year ago when Prime Minister asked Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman to look into the possibility of restructuring of the GST. This is one of the many steps in government's elaborate plan to offset the impact of US tariffs, make India's economy resilient, and put more money in the hands of the middle class.
It's a dynamic situation where you're moving from one to another with newer players coming in, newer factors coming into play. We will come out with something to handhold those who are hit by the 50% tariff from the US.
The long-term goal of the Modi government is self-reliance. Boost exports, reduce imports. With turmoil in global economy triggered by wars and tariffs, Prime Minister's mantra is clear. Reforms are the way to go. India is also exploring new markets and stitching new trade pacts.
I'm very confident that collectively with the effort of 140 crore Indians now committed to go Swadeshi, now very, very charged that I will buy goods made in India.
India's middle class is on the Prime Minister's mind. Over 31% middle class is the target of the government's reforms. This was reflected in the union budget with many tax cuts for the Aam Aadmi. Along with the consumer, industry too is being thought of. Criticism of red tape and convoluted procedures is being worked upon. Many processes seen as a hangover of the UPA era are also being streamlined. The Modi government is now aiming high. It plans to ensure more benefits for MSMEs and labor-intensive sectors to keep them insulated from American tariffs. Prime Minister Modi's stress on Swadeshi is another direction the government is headed in.
आत्मनिर्भर भारत के अभियान
Amid the lush greenery of Goa, we have with us on the show a very, very special guest, someone we're hoping to have some very fun conversations with. We're here with the Tourism Minister. This is Minister Rohan Khaunte, and we're going to ask him everything that's been on our mind in the last few days. Minister, if we can take to our first question.
Absolutely.
Abhi bada bhog mein it's become for people to say, listen, I'm not going to Goa, I'm going to go to Sri Lanka, I'm going to go to, Thailand, any of these other countries that are located around Goa. Now, as the Minister of Tourism, how do you look at it? Is it a challenge or you're like, nahi jaane do?
See, tourism always is one of the more important, potentially the economic vertical of the state. So every tourist is important. Now, when we talk about Goa and we talk about the type of people coming in, one way we are already running full as far as the higher category of hotels are concerned.
Right.
The people who normally compare other budget travelers or people who look at new destinations. As we create new things in the same state for Goa for people to come and explore, we need to also understand that competitiveness is there and we need to be in that frame. But at the same time, people who want to go to Vietnam wouldn't compare it to Goa other than the budget. Goa is a special place. We talk about our culture and our people which are closely grouped, and that is what makes Goa very different. So I wouldn't compare Goa to any of the state or any other country because we are different. We talk about Atithi Deva Bhava, we talk about tourists being God to us, and that is how we put our foot forward as far as tourism is concerned. And that's exactly why people come here, not only once, but repeatedly. So as a part of a social media campaign or as a part of the competitiveness, the best part is when somebody wants to go to Vietnam, they say, why not Goa? Why don't they use any other name? They could have used any other name which they could have said, why not so and so? But they say Goa. That itself talks about what Goa is.
For all of us.
So
all of us.
it's almost the sense I get is that sooner or later people are going to be forced to turn to Goa. आप कितनी देरी भागोगे गोवा से आपको यहाँ तो आना ही पड़ेगा. But हाँ, can I
But
also
you
on
need to
that
understand
note?
one thing. We, the tourists, the so-called Gen Z, the young generation, unlike the pre-COVID, they want to explore, they want to come. And what we have been offering continuously changing over times, we are not forcing anybody to come to Goa. It's a inner force which tells them, an inner energy, which gives that positivity frame for Goa to say, chal yaar, Goa jayenge. And the connectivity which is there with the tier 2 cities, connecting to the metros, which is improvised with the 2 airports, allows us to explore much more numbers in terms of the domestic footfalls, which are high spenders.
That surely is something that's played a huge role. 2 airports now on both sides. It's a big factor, and we conveniently had an option to pick from one, so that's a plus. But Minister, also tell us, and this is slightly personal, in continuation to what we've asked already, one underrated place or location in Goa, now that we're talking about the essence of Goa and what it brings to the table, as per you, that you were to tell somebody, अगर आप गोवा आए और यहाँ नहीं गए तो क्या ही गोवा है?
पूरा बोलना है कि
नहीं छोटा सा.
See, we are talking about a very clear statement. For the last 3 years, we say about Goa beyond beaches. We talk about so many hidden jewels. We talk about our spice plantations. We talk about our waterfalls. The Dudhsagar waterfall, which is in the hinterlands, stands at 310 meters, the third highest in the country. Some people know it, some people don't. There is a great category of bird watchers who come into Goa for a special part of only bird watching because there are migratory birds coming in.
The bird Salim Ali.
Not only Salim Ali, you have the extreme south. I have in my own constituency something called as the Todda Lake. And believe me, those people, that migratory birds come in that month every year. They are like those tourists coming there and being a part of it. And you have people who come there to see these birds. You have adventure, wellness, you have the great trails happening, and the whole ecosystem talks about Goa beyond beaches. So it's not only the sun, sand, sea. We're adding much more to it, and that's what is creating value. So it's not one hidden gem. I would not only talk about one Dudhsagar. I would not only talk about the spiritual tourism we are promoting. I would not only talk about the adventure and wellness. But I think for a tourist to come, our main part is how we can increase your stay. A domestic tourist normally stays for 4 nights and the international tourist stays for normally 9 nights. We need to see how we can increase the number of stay, the days of stay for them. That allows giving back to the economy and the part of it, because end of the day, as a government, we are facilitators. We are not running businesses. We need to only transit the things which are challenges for smoothness of tourism to happen into Goa.
So I want to ask you a slightly tricky question here. I want to understand why I love and most of us love कि आप कह रहे हो कि hidden gems जो beyond beaches जैसे waterfalls, rainforest, these are the parts of Goa you need to see. But I want to ask you, there's the fear that tourists like us who come from across India, they're going to come and with us, they're going to bring in pollution. You're not going to treat Goa correctly. And I just want to ask, जैसे wedding industry यहाँ पे इतनी बड़ी है, but wedding करते हुए लोग बिल्कुल environment का ध्यान नहीं रखते हैं. So in your head, how do you balance what the local Goan wants? They love their trees, they love their, all the grounds.
You asked me too many questions in one frame. Let's take it one by one. I got it.
Yeah.
But let's start it one by one. Allow me some time to reply.
Okay.
Regenerative tourism, first in the country to talk about it, built around with 3 pillars: economy, environment, and the society. I mean, at large, ecology. So when we are talking about these pillars, we need to ensure sustainability is there in the long run. We are leaving something for posterity is what we need to target. Now, this is a run which we have started. For it's a vision document. We are talking about quality over quantity. It's a vision document. It has started transiting with the thought processes that we have. Now, when we expect tourists to come, we expect them to be responsible tourists. वो आएगा यहाँ मजा करेगा, will carry some nostalgic moments, whether it's a family, it's mine, wedding, anything. We want them to enjoy, feel Goa at its best, but do not destroy the place. Unfortunately, we have some segment of people who you can call as troublemakers who come as tourists and do spoil the certain places, which is a challenge to any tourism destination. But similarly, you have great tourists coming in, ensuring that they also sometimes participate in your beach cleaning exercise and things which allow them to also feel that they are a part of this restoration process, or keeping it next as far as ecology is concerned, restoring that part and giving it to the next generation. So any tourism destination, if it is having challenges, we need to support it. So you have beach cleaning in place, which cleans the beaches.
Right.
The inner roads and other things is taken care of by the government, by the other departments. So as I always say that we are a department, but as a tourism industry, we need collective responsibility. As a government, we have PWD, we have the police, where the illegal touting needs to be cleaned up. We have the garbage, where the solid waste management does their job. We have animal husbandry, which needs to tackle the menace of the stray cattle and other things. We have the taxi issues, which are very, I would say they are smaller issues, magnified to make a place look different. So people who have come here have carried mixed experiences. We have certain things like 1364, certain numbers which is to make you feel safe and secure. You have some platforms like Let's Go, which allow you to go. It's like a marketplace going and allowing you to see a lot of places around the things. So we are using technology. We are trying to see that the culture and heritage is retained, and we are doing a balance. So as the tourist comes in, as you rightly said, imagine you coming for a wedding here, you would want everything to be the best. I would only expect you take the best, but as you leave, keep it the best. Don't spoil it. But sometimes you have certain challenges which any state will have to do, and we are, along with our Chief Minister, I think we are encountering these issues very positively and putting it in the right frame.
Minister Rohan, you slightly touched upon the taxi issue, and you have to allow me to come in here because, like you said, every time there is a taxi issue, we see a national headline out of it, right? So do you actually mean it when you say that it's actually not that big a issue, or do you think there are steps in place the government is taking or looking at that are going to resolve this issue in the short term?
Have you used the taxi?
Here?
Yeah.
We've been provided cars, so we were
past.
Yeah.
But how's the experience been?
Frankly, very lovely people. So I've not had an interaction that's been negative, but you hear the stories.
It's
Thanks.
mostly between...
You are one of the ambassadors who will clear this issue for me. But talk about it. See, every tourism destination has its own challenge. We have to understand that our tourism, when it started with our local Goans participating. It was water sports, shacks, and it was taxis. So you have the whole thought process of businesses where families have run on taxis. They have grown, the children have grown. You cannot call it a taxi mafia. I always defer that point when the social media takes it. I say that a certain section, maybe 1 or 2 out of 10 are troublemakers. You would call them as troublemakers who normally would create something which creates a problem. Along with the Chief Minister, as we are settling these issues, by taking them together and working on a digital platform, the ways and means how it can be, the government will soon come with the policy on a taxi. It is very interesting that you have 2 types of fellows. One is the troublemaker category, one is this category, where you have come, experienced the drive. Sometimes these international travelers, especially we have a legacy market of UK and Russia, they call these people up, they come on an annual holiday. They call these people up and they say, we are coming here for 15 days. I need you to be free for 15 days. Those guys are there 15 days with them as not only a driver and the car, also as a guide, being with them like an extended family member from Goa. So this part of the story also needs to be looked at. So as we need technology to come in and balance the issues, what a certain section of the people feel that they get fleeced. I think these challenges, as we accept that we are ready to and we are changing ourselves, we need to understand that every tourism destination will have it here.
But how much of a role, Minister, does awareness play in all of this, and what steps are being taken to ensure that these certain sections of people who are opposed to shifting to, let's say, no La Uber completely, are open to the idea just because they're more equipped with the idea and are aware of what comes with it?
Local issues will always be understood by locals. People who come as corporates, maybe like Uber or somebody, may want to do business on behalf of these guys. So they are having some reservations and we are with them on that. At the same time, we want them to go with technology. So Goa already has Goa Taxi as an app aggregator. We have Goa Miles. I think these are two things which we are already promoting Goa with. But then there is the other part which needs to come on a digital platform, especially in the coastal belt. So I think that's in the, I think before 2026, you might have something in flavors. So if you come by the month ends, you'll get something good for.
We're going to bring out the foodie in you in just a bit, but before that, one last serious question, and then we'll move on to quick fun questions to really know your minister. So one question is, as a tourism minister, any tourism destination also comes with its own set of challenges around law and order. So what were those challenges for you as the minister of Goa, and which of these do not rules
What do you
were
mean
the
by
hardest?
law and order?
Law and order meaning, I mean, the more tourists you have, the more people are coming here for a fun night, fun evening, on chutti, the more they're going to be instances.
We would say that we have certain helplines like 1364 and other things in place for people to feel that they are safe and secure. Any issues, they can give a call. As far as law and order is concerned, I think we are very comfortable. We have great people here who take care of the ecosystem by themselves. Like what I said, every fellow is an ambassador. You will find the water sports guy not only talking about the water sports journey and the ticket he sells, he'll talk to you about the hinterlands in Goa. He's another ambassador. The Goan Sheikh brother who is there on his shack doing his business and selling, giving you the thing, he will talk about Goa. The taxi fellow will talk to you about Goa. So these ambassadors of Goa already make Goa a vibrant place. So any type of law and order which comes, other than the police, we have the locals also ensuring that tourists are safe. We have certain challenges where people who are migrants have come into Goa and they themselves create a particular some nuisance, which we have addressed with the new nuisance policy, the Goa Prevention Act, which allows us to take care through the particular ecosystem in terms of the laws which we have in place to address the concerns of people who are trying to play with the law and order of Goa. I can boast and proudly say Goa is safe, Goa is secure, whether it's for solo women, for families and for any people who want to come here and enjoy and feel Goa.
Okay, lovely.
Okay, let's go to some fun questions. So our favorite fact about you is that you practice taekwondo, but हमें ये जानना था कि, no offense, many people say they practice taekwondo, karate, all this stuff. Were you a black belt? Did you reach that level? Can you practice it today? Give us a little context.
Really putting you in a
See,
spot.
we were in the world of jack of all trades, master of none.
Yes.
So I've been a state basketball player. I've played cricket for the state.
Lovely.
I used to play table tennis for my college.
Yeah.
And then I've been an avid boxer and a taekwondo. What taught me in life was not to earn a black belt, but what taught me in life was the ethics, the discipline, the teamwork which happened in all these sports, whether singular or team sports, which I think has become a part of our life in terms of the politics we are in, where we take everybody together. So sports is not only about doing what we did. I've been actually a good guy who used to do quite heavy ginning. Those were the days. But now I think we are comfortable just moving and settling ourselves. But those sports days are different than what we can think
Okay,
about.
from sports, let's move to food. Because the foodie in all of us is right now trying to understand what is that one tip we need from you before we leave for our destination. What is that one dish, Goan dish we must try, and Goan drink perhaps that we must go for?
One cannot stop. Goa cannot stop with one particular thing.
Very safe answer.
So you have the Goan street food, which I would have a omlet pav with a little chicken curry, shaguti curry.
Okay.
Then for you have the chicken cutlets. Then you have the prawn rissois. Then you have the chicken shaguti. I think my thing is also moving differently now. My palate is moving differently. Then you have great chicken kafriel. And you cannot miss out Goa without a Goa fish curry rice with the kishmur and the fresh Goan fish that we have to offer. At the end, you have to have a seradura and what do you call that particular cream caramel. You should-
Caramel custard.
Caramel custard with that particular little topping.
So it's a long list to plan
Yeah,
out for
and to
anyone you're
drink,
hosting.
I think seasonally we have the urrak in the month of the summers, the feni throughout the year, which is better than the tequila, which are organically Goan drinks which you should try. To not only feel what I'm one guy who would always say, you did not drink for the sake of drinking, but you need to test things and understand what it is about. Then only you'll know what actually it can speak about. I'm a foodie. From a street to the 5 stars, I have a select list of Goan menu and the culinary, which normally I would love to. And since you guys are there, definitely today evening we'll make it interesting for you.
I just love we've
with
spent-
some great fish
We've all
reshad
been
and
carried
everything.
away, walking next to the beach and with all the food
So we're
conversation.
reaching the end of this conversation. And a little earlier, you were talking about the ethics that sports instilled in you and the person it scaled you. And I just want to ask you, take us a little bit into, we're going a little different. We're stepping away from food, which was such a lovely place. But I want to understand in the world of Goan politics, what's your favorite part? Because you've also seen national politics play out. And I'm sure there's a difference to the way Goan politicians carry themselves, just in the same way there's a difference in the way the Goan population behaves. People here are so warm, so lovely. So tell us, what's your favorite part about being a Goan politician and what's the part that gets on your nerves?
This is my third term as MLA. I've been twice independent MLA. Having supported the Bharatiya Janata Party in the past, along under Dr. Manohar Parrikar, holding the portfolios of revenue, IT, labor, employment, tenure and statistics. This tenure, after joining the Bharatiya Janata Party, I will be under Dr. Pramod Sawant, talking about tourism, information technology, electronics and communication, and printing and stationery. Now, these are the official part of handling it. This gives you a chance and opportunity to ensure that what you felt, you can deliver. So, if I felt the last person in that house, which you say, Gramin Goa, or rural Goa, I need that man to empower himself, for the family to be empowered. I would need to see how my departments can work to ensure that there is a smile on that house, which is, I wouldn't say below poverty or poverty line. We are the highest per income capita people. But we need to work on those lines. I'm a person who is working actively in student politics also.
Yeah.
So that allowed me to start thinking about how you can make life better socially and different ways. And Goa is very close to my heart, the state. We are Goans. We expect to deliver the best. And as a person who's been elected by the people, it's our mandate to give betterment to the common people and fight for them. So as an opposition, I've always fought for the causes of Goa and causes and issues of my constituency and our people. Today it allows me a chance to deliver, and I think that gives a great opportunity to think about what you could have done and try my best today to deliver it to my constituents as far as Pororim is concerned, my own constituency and the state of Goa. So today politicians, because of so many things around them, I don't think others conventional politicians which will come, at least in Goa. You can find a very casual approach, you can find a thing, because today, unlike other states, we are connected with our every household which is there, and it's like one extended family. So all Goans are like extended family members who would pick up the phone and call you at any time, thinking that the other side is going to be reciprocating. And as far as Rohan Sont is concerned, right from the journey, not only today, anybody calls, I will be responsive to ensure, or I will call back later to ensure that the person who is calling for something must be calling for something. He wouldn't be calling, other than some people who are your well-wishers come and call you and say, everything is okay, you're okay. That's one part of the story. Other part is the small issues. किसको स्कीम का पैसा नहीं आया है, किसी का हेल्थ का इशू है, किसी को और कुछ चाहिए. So you need to have a system, and I have a great team in-house to ensure that we are able to create the deliverables. So I believe politics is not about politics. Better people can create better politics. Better politics can create a better state. And better states can create a better nation to support our Prime Minister's initiative.
Mr. Rohan, you've spoken so highly of politicians in Goa. Let's end on this one note, one question that we have for you. Because politicians in Goa are as good as family. If you were to plan a weekend getaway to Goa off the job, no work, nothing doing, will it be with your party colleagues or with your family members?
I'll be in the house. Because there's the one of the rarest part for us to be in. We are never at home. So being at home and spending the whole day with family is something which we hardly get. So that's what I would love to do on a single day if you give me.
I just love
to
how
see
you
that-
take you like family. Okay.
So we have an extended family throughout, which we are there throughout 365 days, 24/7. So
दो
one day,
दिन
if
तो
you are
बनते हैं।
एक दिन तो आप दे रही हो, तो at least I would be wanting to spend no mobile,
Little
nothing.
caramel custard in
And
front of you.
Okay.
It's been wonderful speaking to you. Thank you for
Same
walking
here.
the talk with us, truly.
here.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. It's
I
been
hope
lovely.
you have a great time in Goa.
Thank you. We're already doing that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jai Mother.
Jai Bharat.
In his 11-year tenure, PM Modi has held 12 exclusive interactions with News 18.
आपका प्रधानमंत्री, आपका प्रधान सेवक या आपका नरेंद्र मोदी कहीं पर भी हो, कुछ भी हो, लेकिन आगे इंसान तो है। सबका साथ, सबका विकास। नेटवर्क 18 टीम को बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं। देश को आधुनिकता की तरफ भी ले जाना है। ये तो ट्रेलर है, मुझे तो और आगे जाना है। अब धर्म के आधार पर देश के टुकड़े नहीं होने चाहिए। मैं ध्यान करता हूं, इसलिए मैं ध्यान को जीता हूं।
एक मेगा एक्सक्लूसिव इंटरव्यू
इंडिया अलायंस नजर नहीं आएगा। इसलिए मेरी पूरी तपस्या या मेरा फोकस देश बने इसके लिए है। जिसको किसी ने नहीं पूछा, उसको मोदी ने पूजा है। पूरे विश्व में भारत के इलेक्शन कमीशन का जय जयकार होता है और ये मोदी की गारंटी है।
Conversations with Modi, only on News 18. This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will turn 75 on Wednesday, which is 17th of September. The Bharatiya Janata Party has planned a series of programs across the country to mark the birthday of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. We have a ground report. Let's take a look.
हम नेक्स्ट जनरेशन जीएसटी रिफॉर्म्स लेकर के आ रहे हैं। ये दिवाली के अंदर आपके लिए तोहफा बन जाएंगे। सामान्य मानवी की जरूरतों के टैक्स भारी मात्रा में कम कर दिए जाएंगे। बहुत बड़ी सुविधा बढ़ेगी।
Promise made, promise delivered. Less than a month after Prime Minister's vow, Finance Minister announced GST 2.0 in a late-night press conference. It was Diwali much before Diwali.
We've reduced the slabs, there shall be only 2 slabs, and we are addressing also the issues of compensation cess. Reforms have been carried out with a focus on the common man. Every tax levied on common man's daily use items have gone through a rigorous looking into, and in most cases the rates have come down drastically.
The story began more than a year ago when Prime Minister asked Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman to look into the possibility of restructuring of the GST. This is one of the many steps in government's elaborate plan to offset the impact of US tariffs, make India's economy resilient, and put more money in the hands of the middle class.
It's a dynamic situation where you're moving from one to another with newer players coming in, newer factors coming into play.
walking through these narrow bylanes in Goa, but we thought we'll quickly shift our attention for a while to this overdrive verdict, which is on Mercedes-AMG's new coupe, replacing both the C-Class and the E-Class coupe.
This is the CLE 53 coupe. We're going to take a look, and of course, Overdrive is going to bring you its verdict on what it looks like and how smooth the drive is. Take a look.
Just look at it. It looks gorgeous, doesn't it? Like a glow of sunshine in this never-ending rain. Those raindrops flowing over those beautiful coupe curves are beautiful. I remember being equally mesmerized when I first saw the C43 coupe in red parked at this very spot. Same exact feeling. This, however, is the CLE 53 coupe. This is the car because of which Mercedes-Benz has laid off the C-Class coupe and the E-Class coupe. And that sparks a question. Is it really that good? Is it better than both those cars? If you think about it, the C43 is like an athlete in sneakers. The E53 is like that executive who goes and runs triathlons over the weekends. And if you look at them from that perspective, this CLE 53 is like a gym bro who decided to bring a bottle of protein shake to a boardroom. It's quicker than the C43, more agile than the E53, more spacious than a C coupe, more compact than the E coupe. And it sounds louder than both of them, thanks to a very clever exhaust system that can flip from diplomatic to demonic, depending on your right foot. It doesn't try to mimic either of its predecessors. Instead, it forges its own identity. And that's a good thing actually, because you see, while I like the C43, I love the E53 as well. Let's be honest, they felt a bit like AMG Light. This one, however, has a full fat AMG treatment. We are talking 449 horsepower, we are talking flared wheel arches, rear axle steering. It's got all of that. It's a proper AMG brute. Just that this one also happens to take Bluetooth calls and go through crawling Mumbai traffic without complaining about it. Let's address the elephant in the room, the 1.4 crore rupee price tag. That's big boy money, enough to get you into entry-level Porsche territory or even an EV with more torque than physics should allow. So what's the pitch here? It's simple. Nothing in this price bracket is going to give you the same blend of power, practicality, playfulness, poise in this exact body shape. I mean, what are you even buying? GLC 43 AMG? Sure, it's more practical. Is it as wild? Absolutely not. And that body style, it just looks awkward. Then there's the BMW M4, definitely has a lot more firepower, but also has a lot more asking price. Then you also have the Lexus LC 500H. Looks good for sure, but that hybrid powertrain, it feels a bit late to the party. Perhaps that's the reason why it's already gone back home, making way for something better, something more powerful. So as of now, this one sits in a rather unique position. Yes, it's not cheap at all, but it feels expensive, and that is what matters. Finished in sun yellow, our test car didn't just turn heads, it dislocated a few necks. The CLE's proportions are classic coupe. Long bonnet, short overhangs, tight roofline, frameless doors, and a proper AMG rear diffuser and spoiler setup. The front is 58mm wider, the rear 75mm. That's basically Mercedes-Benz saying, yes, we made it wider because sports cars are supposed to look fast even when they are not moving. It's clear, this isn't a car trying to blend in. It's just the right mix of classy and confrontational. You can simply pull up at a 5-star hotel and park this next to a GLS Maybach, and it'll still not look out of place. You can go to a track day, and even in the pits, even with other fast coupes, it's going to fit right in and yet stand out. And that's the kind of versatility which is pretty rare to find these days. Step inside and you're met with a cabin that's trying very hard to shout performance even while whispering luxury from the other corner. there's no shortage of screens. A 12.3-inch driver display with multiple AMG skins to choose from, an 11.9-inch central touchscreen tilted towards the driver, and a head-up display floating somewhere in your periphery. The red and black AMG upholstery, the metal trim, the steering wheel wrapped in carbon fiber plus microfiber, a proper theatre. But the big surprise is how livable this cabin actually is for a coupe like this. Getting in and out is actually quite easy. There's a seatbelt butler which will fetch the seatbelt for you so that luxury experience isn't compromised, and even the rear seats are actually quite generous. So it's not only for show dogs or handbags. Two average-sized humans can actually sit there and be comfortable on something like a Pune-Mumbai run. The boot space is actually quite decent and usable. Of course, you're not going to be using a coupe for your IKEA runs, but your golf bags, your grocery bags, your weekend's worth of luggage to beautiful places like these, that is well taken care of. At its heart is the M256M 3-litre inline 6 with 449 PS, 560 Newton meters and just the right amount of electric boost to hide any turbo lag. And the tuning of the engine is spot on. It can easily trot around town whenever you want it to. It can be an absolute maniac when you want it to. It's got the electric booster compressor, which is essentially going to fill in all those torque gaps. So you're not going to have any kind of turbo lag. Whether you're driving at slow city speeds or pulling quick overtakes, no problem at all. Then you have the 48-volt mild hybrid system, which again helps this and also helps efficiency and make sure that the car always has on-tap power, ready to deliver as and when you need it. And that 9-speed AMG transmission just works like a charm, whether you're driving in the city, cruising out on the highway, or even attacking bends the way I am right now. It's just amazing. And even when you feel like taking manual control of the gearbox, you're going to absolutely have fun. It's snappy when you want it to, and it's absolutely subtle when you don't. That AMG Performance 4MATIC Plus system that we are talking about will give you all the grip you need and all the oversteer if you want. If you engage the drift mode, certainly not a good idea in these conditions. And in typical AMG fashion, this one also gets the race mode. You also have telemetry data, the Track Pace app, so when you're taking it for your track days, you can record all that telemetry data. And when you find an open stretch of road, in controlled conditions of course, you can also pull off a quick 0 to 100 run just to see how capable this engine is. In fact, let's do that right now. Drag mode activated, launch control activated, and off we go! Check that out! And it's already at 100! Oh my god! Oh my god, those red seat belts are killing me! Oof. That feels brutal. I mean, 4.2 seconds, yes, we have driven cars, tested cars that are quicker than this. But the way it delivers that power, it's amazing. And 4.2 is quick enough for our roads. Come on, I mean, whom are we kidding? And the way it gets there is unbelievable. The screen tells me that we did it in about 4.1 seconds. That's quicker than the claim time in this kind of weather. It's not just fast when you are pedal to the metal, it's fast even when you are over 20% throttle input. And you have the telemetry data right there to prove just that.
On a night heavy with tension and hype, India kept their cool while Pakistan crumbled. The clinical bowling display set the tone. Abhishek Sharma lit up the chase, and the Surya Kumar Yadav Tilak Verma partnership ensured India's dominance was never in doubt. Chasing a modest target of 128, Abhishek Sharma did not waste any time, making his intentions clear. Clobbering Shaheen Shah Afridi for a 4 and a 6 to kickstart the chase before hammering 31 of just 13 deliveries. India did lose Shubman Gill for 10 to Saim Ayub, but by the time Abhishek departed, he had already set the platform. From there, skipper Surya Kumar Yadav and Tilak Verma combined for a stand of 56 runs for the third wicket to put India on course. Tilak got out for 31 of 31 to Ayub, but India cruised to a facile 7-wicket win with 25 balls still left. Birthday boy Sky was entertaining as ever with an unbeaten 47 of 37 balls, while Shivam Dube added 10 not out. And as has been the case in recent India-Pakistan clashes, the build-up promised a spectacle, but the contest itself fell flat with India dominating from start to finish. The intensity though was unmistakable before the ball was bowled. In the days leading up, emotions ran high. Boycotts were called on and the familiar shadow of geopolitical tensions hung heavy. With the two captains walked out at the Dubai International Stadium, there were no handshakes, no smiles, just tension. But Pakistan surprised many by choosing to bat first. And their innings unravelled almost immediately. Saim Ayub gone for a golden duck to Hardik Pandya. Mohammad Haris is falling to Bumrah and suddenly it was 6 for 2 inside the first 8 balls. Fakhar Zaman survived a close LBW shout but the pressure never eased. And then came the spin strangle. Akshar Patel removed Fakhar, Kuldeep Yadav ripped through the middle order with 3 wickets including 2 in 2 balls and Varun Chakravarti joined the act with a sharp LBW to Fahim Ashraf. By the 18th over, Pakistan was staring at 97 for 8, the innings sinking fast. But just when it looked like India would roll them over for under 100, Shaheen Afridi swung his bat like a sledgehammer. 4 huge sixes at the death, a strike rate over 200 and suddenly Pakistan had life again. His cameo dragged them to 127 for 9, still below par but much better than it looked a few overs earlier, but it was to no avail. The win ensures India's passage to Super 4 before their last game against Oman, while for Pakistan, they will have to wait for their final game against the UAE for a spot in the Super 4.
In his 11-year tenure, PM Modi has held 12 exclusive interactions with News 18.
आपका प्रधानमंत्री, आपका प्रधान सेवक या आपका नरेंद्र मोदी कहीं पर भी हो, कुछ भी हो, लेकिन आखिर इंसान तो है। सबका साथ, सबका विकास। नेटवर्क 18 टीम को बहुत-बहुत बधाई देता हूं। देश को आधुनिकता की तरफ भी ले जाना है। ये तो ट्रेलर है, मुझे तो और आगे जाना है। अब धर्म के आधार पर देश के टुकड़े नहीं होने चाहिए। मैं ध्यान करता हूं, इसे नहीं, मैं ध्यान को जीता हूं।
एक मेगा एक्सक्लूसिव इंटरव्यू
इंडिया अलायंस नजर नहीं आएगा। इसलिए मेरी पूरी तपस्या या मेरा फोकस देश बने इसके लिए है। जिसको किसी ने नहीं पूछा, उसको मोदी ने पूजा है। पूरे विश्व में भारत के इलेक्शन कमीशन का जय जयकार होता है और ये मोदी की गारंटी है।
Conversations with Modi only on News 18. Brought to you by This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will turn 75 on Wednesday, which is 17th of September. The Bharatiya Janata Party has planned a series of programs across the country to mark the birthday of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. We have a ground report. Let's take a look.
हम नेक्स्ट जनरेशन जीएसटी रिफॉर्म्स लेकर के आ रहे हैं। ये दिवाली के अंदर आपके लिए तोहफा बन जाएंगे। सामान्य मानवीय की जरूरतों के टैक्स भारी मात्रा में कम कर दिए जाएंगे। बहुत बड़ी सुविधा बढ़ेगी।
Promise made, promise delivered. Less than a month after Prime Minister's vow, Finance Minister announced GST 2.0 in a late-night press conference. It was Diwali much before Diwali.
We've reduced the slabs, there shall be only 2 slabs, and we are addressing also the issues of compensation cess. Reforms have been carried out with a focus on the common man. Every tax levied on common man's daily use items have gone through a rigorous looking into, and in most cases the rates have come down drastically.
The story began more than a year ago when Prime Minister asked Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman to look into the possibility of restructuring of the GST. This is one of the many steps in government's elaborate plan to offset the impact of US tariffs.
Good morning. You're watching the Breaking News Show right here on CNN News 18. It's a Monday morning and we are bringing you all of the country's top stories at this hour. My name is Toya Singh. Very quickly, before we go ahead, let's take a look at all of the headlines. First, Pakistan's long wait to beat India in a men's cricket match continues after their Asia Cup 2025 fixture ended in a thumping 7-wicket win for the defending champions India in Dubai. And our big political story today, the Prime Minister visiting West Bengal, inaugurating the 16th Combined Commanders Conference 2025 in Kolkata. Thereafter, he'll be visiting Bihar. He'll be inaugurating the new terminal building of the Purnia Airport. Elections in Bihar soon. This is being seen through that lens. The Prime Minister launches a blistering attack on the Congress, accuses the Congress of backing infiltrators. This was while he was in Assam yesterday. And the Supreme Court will pass the interim order regarding the Waqf Amendment Act 2025 after hearing challenges to its validity and implications for Waqf property management. And in Tamil Nadu, making things more interesting, the superstar Rajinikanth on the right, hailing Stalin, creating a flutter in Tamil Nadu politics ahead of polls. And this is all as Vijay campaigned through the weekend and accused the DMK and Stalin of looting Tamil Nadu in the name of ideology. IMD issues an alert for heavy showers, waterlogging and traffic in Mumbai. Meanwhile, due to heavy rainfall in Pune, all